Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to the Just KNICKIN Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen. And as always, we have a lot to talk about. I'm joined by I am Jerrell, Dope Soul Alumni 2022. Aj the villain. Hit that like button as you're coming in the door. Geoff won't be with us today. Doesn't look like Delusional will be with us today. But we still going to hold it down. We're going to talk a little bit about Bridges' comments on Tom Thibodeau. Is there a little fracture in the, in the locker room? Is this the last season for Bridges? You know what happens when you speak out against Tom Thibodeau, right? Thinking about Fournier and Grimes. So we'll talk about that. We'll definitely dive into the game last night. I know some people would say that the Knicks shouldn't be struggling and going into overtime with Portland, but I say you just got to stack them. Just stack the wins at this point. Learn your lessons, take notes, and try to get better as we continue to go along. We'll talk about the two games without Brunson as well. Seem to be back to the ball movement and the player movement pretty much out of necessity. And anything else that comes up. How you fellas doing?
Hey, happy to be here, Steph. Salute to the chat. Aj, my guy.
Hey,
I'm ready to get it going, man.
Let's get it going.
Yeah, salute to the chat. Wonder Woman. Appreciate you. A-Train. Eddie Kofi in the building early.
A-Train in here early.
Yeah. Born Freedom on DSNYK. Leon Mitchell. David L. Bayer got that notification. I appreciate you. Double D. JJ was in the building early. And if I missed anyone, my apologies. Silk Sutton, I see you. Johnny Davis, I see you. All right. I mean, let's just start. You know, we have a weekly show. So when Bridges made his comments, you know, people had pop-up shows, you know, we didn't. So we're going to start with that before we get into last night's game. So let me just actually put the quote up for those who, you know, are not all Knicks all the time and actually go to work and, you know, do things. This is the only one I have. All right, look, here we go. This is Mikal Bridges. Sometimes it's not fun on the body. And he was talking about playing 48, 47 minutes a game. We've got a lot of good guys on this team that can take away minutes, which helps the defense, helps the offense, helps tired bodies being out there and giving up all these points. It helps just keeping fresh bodies out there. And he said he had this conversation with Tom Thibodeau. I think he said Tom would think about it. But you know, he's stuck in his ways or something like that. He said it was only so much of the quote I can get on the slide. And when they asked Tom Thibodeau about it, he said he didn't talk to Bridges about it. And then, you know, how your two highest scorers are like 10 and 20 in the league in terms of minutes, talking about Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, and how your wing players usually play the most minutes. So if Tatum and Brown is in the game, you're trying to match your wings up with them. Anyway, your thoughts on the quote? Do you think that, you know, just your thoughts on it. If you have any questions thoughts about timing, if you feel like this is an indication of a fractured locker room or some fracture between Bridges and Tom, just what's your thoughts on it, Jerrell, and then we'll go to Aj.
I think it's maybe blown out of proportion a little bit. One thing I don't like, though, I don't like Bridges saying it, not just because it's Bridges. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it kind of feels weird maybe because this is his first year on the team. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they did it in Brooklyn, but how we do it here, you play when Tom Thibodeau says you need to play. Bridges don't usually, like, I hardly ever hear a player complain about having too many minutes. Like, that doesn't, matter of fact, this might be the first time I've ever heard it, to be honest. I haven't heard of any type of player, whether they were all-star, superstar, no matter how many minutes they play, they've never complained about it. You know, not to say that it's not a problem, but I think a big portion of it was, I mean, the reason that they were logging all those minutes. What Tom Thibodeau's explanation for it was, I actually believe him. Like they didn't have the horses behind them to do so. Like unless everybody want to see like Landry Shamet play like 25 to 30 minutes a game, the wings on our team is going to log at least 36 to 38 minutes a game. So I think it is what it is. We don't have the bench to have our starters sit a long time. And until we do so, I think they're just going to have to play, man. We're going to have to tough it out.
Yeah. Do you think, I guess I'm wondering about timing, the timing of it. He's getting a lot of criticism from the fan base. And some, I don't think from the national media, but, some content creators, I've seen, some criticism of him. Do you think this was his way of explaining why he's not playing as well as people want him to play, that he's logging a lot of minutes?
I'm really happy you asked me that question because that's I was actually going to talk about that too. And part of the reason I did not like him saying it, because I would hope that he did not use that as an excuse as to why he's been a disappointment so far to a lot of fans. And I'm not even talking about how many draft picks he got, traded for, or anything like that. I'm talking about like a disappointment period, like his consistency and stuff like that in his defense. A lot of those times that had nothing to do with his wind or his had nothing to do with how many minutes he played. Sometimes he was just bad. Like you're not going to be winded in the first half. So I hope he did not use that as an excuse. I would like to think of Mikal Bridges as, higher character than that, because like I said before, I've never heard a player complain about minutes, especially him, and him being such an, quote unquote Iron Man. He's never missed a game, and he's been in the league for like 7 years now. So it's kind of weird to me. And are we going to talk about like the Tibbs side of it too?
Yeah, sure.
Because on the Tibbs side, a lot of people complain about Tibbs and how he's old school and stuff like that. Like usually, obviously, Tibbs seems like he's softened a little bit, because say if that was like a Pat Riley player, like back in the day, he might have DMP'd Bridges the next game and snapped that little streak he got. like back in the day, coaches would have sat his ass down just for saying something like that. But obviously to me it seemed like Tom Thibodeau was softened. He seemed annoyed when he was asked the questions in the press conference, and I get it, but yeah, I think Bridges is extremely lucky that Tom Thibodeau didn't take it away, and I don't think he did. By the way their interaction was in the game against Portland, I don't think they have any bad blood between them.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't seem like that way to me.
Yeah, and to be honest, to me, before we get to Ajay, the comment was factual. If you play a lot of minutes, it does impact your offense. It does impact your defense. You aren't as fresh. So I don't think there's that part was factual.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more about for me, the timing and like, where is this coming from? Like, you knew what it is. This been going on all season,
like all of a sudden.
Yeah. Whatnot. It's not about the factuality of it. Ajay, what's your take on it?
So my original take when I first read it before the show started, because I didn't know what the comment was. It's nothing. Like to me we're making something out of nothing. It's like a nothing burger, really. But when Jerrell said, you, Queen, I don't know, said you hope he's not using that as an excuse, and I hope that's the case, because if he is, that's corny of him to do. I mean, that's really punkish to come and use that as an excuse, to why you're not playing well. Strap up and up your game so you could do better. But I didn't think, I'm looking at, I didn't think it was that inflammatory, so I didn't think it was anything worth making anything about. Of course, it's the Knicks. We're Knicks Nation, and we talking about it, but it's probably, I don't see it as anything. Now, in terms of Tibbs, I don't think Tibbs softened up Jerrell. That Tibbs didn't give him a DMP. It's just Tibbs' hands are tied. Like, who you gonna put in? If you DNP him, You know, because Tibbs, like he's stuck right now. He doesn't like to lose. He likes to play every game like it's a playoff game. He has to win. So, you're not going to do that and jeopardize your chance of winning because Mikal Bridges, we all know he can help. He can help you win a ball game. So maybe it's not that Tibbs is softened up. It's just like he didn't have a choice but to put him in.
I guess my point is old Tibbs wouldn't have cared either way.
No.
Because he's not. I guess my thing is Mikal Bridges isn't a superstar. Like it's not like Jalen Brunson said this. This is somebody that this is his first year on the team. He hasn't even been here a year yet. Mm-hmm. So to just say something that's going on in the locker room or the coaching staff period, usually old school coaches would not, dig that. That's all I'm saying. But you could be right though. He might not have done it, but back in the day, like coaches in the 80s wouldn't have stood for that. At least they wouldn't have liked it. Maybe not sat him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I hear you guys in the chat. I don't think anybody is getting on Mikal for, what he said is factual. I mean, there's nothing to argue there.
We've been saying that all season.
Right. Correct.
Us fans like that, everybody's been saying that.
Yeah. The flip side of it though is, the Knicks are pretty small behind Bridges and OG. And so say what you want to say about Bridges' defense. And Shamet his defense has been good as well. I think Bridges poses more of a he's just a longer, defender than Shamet, than Shamet is. So I'm not sure what the answer is, play him less and then play Shamet. I guess that's, that's the answer. Or play him less and, go to, because remember, go to, I don't know, Bridges. I mean, not Bridges, McBride more minutes. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to get, too far into it. I feel like it is factual. The more minutes you play, you aren't going to be as fresh. But if the timing of this was out of his frustration with what's going on with the fans and what's going on with the media, I need Bridges to suck it up. You had this conversation with Tom Thibodeau. First of all, it should have stayed right there. I don't understand what telling everyone the conversation you had with Tom Thibodeau. What's the purpose of that? Unless you're trying to get it out that, you guys are criticizing me and not because I'm not playing well, but it's because I'm playing a lot of minutes and I'm not fresh, or what it is. If that's what it was about, that's letting me know that he's cracking under pressure a little bit. If that's what it's about. I'm not saying it is.
Yep.
Jerrell, what you was going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, I completely agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I hope he didn't use that as an excuse, especially since he said it and then the very next game played 41 minutes and hit the game-winning shot in overtime.
Yeah, and that's Thibodeau saying, okay, whatever conversation we had.
Exactly.
We need this dub, and we're a better team when you're in it. And listen, I get it. I forgot what podcast I was listening to earlier in the season, and they were like, you can't tell me that the 37th minute of Bridges is that much better than the 18th minute of McBride. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It just is. You know what I mean? If you got Jaylen Brown in the game at that time or whoever you have in the game, and you're not going to tell me, oh, Bridges has played 36 minutes. I think, and McBride has only played 17. Let's put him in. He's going to be fresher. That's going to make the difference. No, it ain't. It's not. Your better players, even if they're a little tired, because whoever they're going against is probably a little tired too, because they've been in the game as well. You have a better chance. That being said, and we've talked about this over and over, I do feel there have been times in the season when we weren't playing Boston and we weren't playing OKC where, Bridges and Anunoby could have gotten more rest, or when we were up 20 something, points with three,
Right.
like those periods of time. Yeah, I do think Tom Thibodeau be like, going overboard. But when you playing these really, really good teams, hell yeah, you better be prepared to play 40.
Yep.
Adja, you wanted to say something?
No, I was gonna say, you said when we're up 20, and I was gonna add or down 20, or down 20 with like 3 minutes left. Like, why is Cat still in the game? Trying to, or why is Bridges still in the game? At that point, man, let Pacome Dadier, let them log in some minutes or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. Anything else on this before we
Yeah, it's not a huge deal for me, so yeah, we could move on from it as far as I care.
Do you think, there's this narrative that, if we speak out against Thibodeau, you're on your way out.
Yeah, no, not for Bridges. They give up all these like 5 or I don't know whatever amount of draft picks for him. They're not gonna get him out because he spoke out against Thibodeau. They're gonna have a very tough conversation with him, put him in a headlock, and say, "You do this again, then we're gonna have a problem." But they're not shipping him out of here because he opened his mouth and spoke to the media. That's not happening. That would be terrible business decision. And after all, this is a business, so there's not gonna be anything emotional about this. Everybody's gonna be. It's going to be grown men stuff here. It's all about money. They're not going to make any harsh decision on this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think even Fournier was a basketball decision. I don't think it was like, we're going to get rid of him because he spoke. No, he's just not. He's just not playing the way we need him to play in our system. Right now, not necessarily. Oh, he spoke out. That's why they put him on the bench. I don't think that was and right now he's out the league. A lot of times when we're getting on the coaching staff, or particularly Thibodeau, about players, and we're arguing back and forth, here it is a year or two later, and you're like, well, maybe they were right. Cam Reddish is out the league. Grimes been traded 15 times. Fournier is out the league. Ntilikina is out the league. That's why I cannot go. Like, the longer I've watched the Knicks, I can't be getting into any type of hive.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Arguing over somebody, particularly early in their career. Knox, same thing with Knox. Been down to the G League, hanging on now to the Golden State bench. I'm not getting into any highs when it comes to these young players. Let them develop. Let's see what they can do. Then I will be in a hive. You know what I mean? Because it's just a lot of arguing about nothing, particularly that Ntilikina season or two.
Queen, you talk about Frank Nitty a lot. I think you really regret all the time spent arguing about Frank Ntilikina. You can't get that time back. So you're
right, because that's when I came into the content creation world. That's when I started listening to podcasts, and it was all about, and I couldn't understand it. I'm like, why are we spending so much time talking about? Why are they spending so much time talking about Ntilikina?
All this reminds me of, salute to our guy Staffer.
Yes,
me and him arguing about Quentin Grimes versus Cam Reddish.
Yep.
And to the point, I was like, man, what the hell are we doing? I was like, we're arguing about two players ain't worth a damn almost. Like, they're not starters. They're barely players that will come off anybody's bench. They're like 10th, 9th, and 10th, players down on the bench. And we're up there arguing about who's better. But, it's all good. That was my guy, man. I used to love those arguments.
Yeah. JJ said he would argue all the time. For me, I definitely, if you have a high ceiling, you're a player that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are making it happen in these high leverage games, those are the players I tend Those are the players I tend to
Right.
lean into. The rest of them, whatever.
You mean the good ones?
The good ones.
Right.
Right. Or the ones who I see like they got like Bridges. I feel like
Potential.
Bridges has a high ceiling. Whether he reaches it or not, I don't know. I feel like he has a high ceiling, right?
Right.
Well, Queen, and plus Bridges is not new in the league. Like we've seen
Right.
him. We've seen him come, like we've seen him perform under the bright lights before. It's just not, that's I don't know. That's why I don't understand why people can't. You have to understand that this guy eventually he's gonna find his spot on the team where he delivers more often than not. It's
Yeah,
only
no
a
doubt.
matter of time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. And I think there's some things we can do to help him, in terms of our system. But I mean, the reality is if you're a third option, you usually get yours off of the first two, right? Rarely are they calling options for the third option on the team. And then also he's playing the point of attack, so it does take a lot of energy, so I'm not worried about Mikal Bridges at all. All right. Let's get into the game last night, which was a goodie. If you like that type of back and forth, basketball, when you think you have the game in hand and then something else, something happens, and next thing you know, the game is tied. You needed your blood pressure medication last night. Snipes Entertainment, the Knicks are supposed to blow out the Blazers, and they won by why? I mean, I guess if you're thinking, if you're going talent wise, but the Blazers came into that game, having one of the best defensive rating, if I'm not mistaken, over, I don't know, the past, 10 games or so. They play extremely hard. The Knicks are not a really good defensive team, though they've been better of late. Still trying to find themselves without Brunson. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on it? You feel like your thoughts on the game overall, and whether or not you felt like it shouldn't have been that close?
Queen, I'll go first. Listen, there's no such thing as shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like the record, none of that means it's an NBA game. Everybody in this league is talented. Everybody in this league is professionals. Anything can happen on any given night. I don't know how many times we got to see games to see this. So the Hawks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers twice. Boom, boom, like back to back. What they're supposed to? Cleveland is. You looking at Cleveland's record, you're like, man, this team's unbeatable. No, you got the Hawks who's struggling with everybody else, and they come in, they wipe the floor with the Cavs. Listen, it none of that matters, man. On that night, you have to perform. You have to come in on that night and play. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Okay, so it has nothing to do with. I don't know. What does that mean? The Knicks should have beaten that team. No, why? Those guys can't play over there. Those guys can play. They have a good coaching staff. They have a very good program over there in Portland. They're young, and they don't have the record that we have, but they can play and they can beat. They've beaten some good teams. So I don't know why we think like that. There's no such thing. You have to come in and play. If you don't come in and play, you're gonna get beat. This is the NBA.
Facts. Jerrell, if you want to comment on that and anything that stood out for you in that game?
Yeah, that was a great game. I was telling you backstage before the show started, I almost felt like a playoff game. Like I get the we should struggle with such and such, but Portland almost got 30 wins. Like they're a tough team. They play good defense. They got some good young players that have high energy. A couple players I think on their side played over 40 minutes last night too. Yeah, it was a good game. I don't crap on wins, if that makes sense. I don't care how we win it. We win by 20, we win by 1, win in triple overtime. I don't crap on wins ever. I more care about, even when it comes to losses in the regular season, I care more about like how we lost. I don't never really care about how we won, if that makes sense. Like if we win by 1 point to a bad team, As long as we win, move on, and go home, I'm fine. It was a good game.
Yeah,
Very, very entertaining game.
Yeah.
And I actually stayed up and watched it. So that's
I cried.
like the game they go off to like almost 2:00 in the morning. So that was a good game.
That was the only bad thing about the game, though, because now you had to stay up even longer, like late. I'm like, oh my god, come on, guys, hurry up, win this game already, so I could go to sleep, man. Yeah, I was already in bed watching this thing on my tablet.
Right.
I'm like, because I'm like halfway asleep.
My only complaint was maybe make the game winner in regulation instead of having
right.
5 minutes. Other than that, yeah, we won the game.
Yeah. What a few things stood out for me though.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks defense was better, and Cat's defense was better last night. And I know some will say, oh, he can't play defense, he can't move his feet. It's been 10 years in the league. He can put in a little better effort, in my opinion, than he has been. And last night he did. I thought there were many times he rotated over, which is what we were asking him to, just rotate over. Ain't nobody asking you to do anything spectacular. Just on the team defense, hit your spots. Now, I don't know if it's because Mitchell Robinson is here. There is a legitimate backup now, and he doesn't have to worry too much about foul trouble. I'm not sure what it is, but I thought the effort was there defensively in terms of his rotations and in terms of just moving his feet when he was out there one-on-one. And I'm like, yo, if you could do that one game, you could do that for 2 games. You could do that for 5 games. You could do that for 10 games, right? So that stood out for me in terms of Cat and the overall defense. I thought Mitchell Robinson, even if he wasn't blocking shots, even if it didn't show up statistically, just his presence back there, just getting his hand. This is for the last 2 games. Just getting his hands in there, getting steals, disrupting things has really helped our defense. And I think Josh Hart's defense has been better as well. Not sure why, but I think his defense has been better. So that the defense has stuck out to me, and we're back to moving our bodies and moving the ball, obviously out of necessity, right? Jalen Brunson is not here where you could just put the ball in his hand and it's on him to create the advantage, right? Bridges can do a little bit of that, and he did that sometimes, but for the most part, it's moving your body, moving the ball, which is kind of back to how we were playing. I'm not sure what happened where we became so Brunson centric. Other than the entertainment of the game, anything stand out to you?
Well, you mentioned Cat's defense. I'm gonna say Cat's offense was awesome. I mean, he played really. I don't know what the numbers are, but it seems like every time he touched the ball, like most times he touched the ball, something good happened. And I know he had a couple of great passes, a couple of great looks. He popped in a couple of very important 3-pointers, which I'd like him to do more often. He posted a little bit yesterday. I don't know if you noticed. A little bit less driving. He did drive, Queen, but a little bit less. And it was a nice mix of everything. And he had I felt he got, I don't know what the numbers say, but I feel like he's got a very good he was very good on offense last night. So
yeah, those 2 3-pointers were huge. Yeah, I think his passing out of the double team was good.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought Cat was, he was solid. He was good last night on both ends of the floor. Any thoughts on Mitchell Robinson? How's Mitch looked over the past few games?
You got that one, Jerrell, or you want me to?
When it comes to Mitch, I'm more worried about his minutes restrictions. So I think the more he plays, obviously, the more comfortable he is. But he was out there, he was active. I don't know how many minutes he played, but he played more. It seemed like he played more minutes than he did in the previous games. So it seemed like the minutes restriction is moving up. But he looks like Mitch. There's nothing to really call home about. We did go against a rookie center last night, or the Portland game, I should say. Mm-hmm. So Mitch is playing well, but he's not Mitch yet. Like, I think, as the games start going and more minutes he plays, he gets more comfortable. Mitch will be better than he is.
Yeah, and shout out to Queen. I think you just put that up. Shout out to Leon Mitchell. He was active on defense, though you could tell the timing is not right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the game time, it's still he's still catching up to speed on that one because he's the split second behind the action, but his sheer presence affect the game in many ways. Because a lot of time guys, they know Mitch is back there, so they really, they make that business decision not to go over there and try to get cute.
Right. Now for Mitch, it seems he's just doing stuff that you're not going to see on the stat sheet.
Right.
Like on the stats, I think he only had like 3 points and maybe 4 or 5 rebounds or something, but I'm not really looking at that. Like, he really affected the game just by him being out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you're right. What we're seeing from Mitch, a lot of it is not going to show up, on the stat sheet, but it's definitely helping us. And I love the way Tom Thibodeau is playing him. Like, my concern was, and who knows, this still may be in the cards when he's 100%. But my concern was, starting him and Cat for, I don't know, 30, 20 some odd minutes a game. Regardless of matchups. That's not something I'm in favor of. Let's see, it may still happen, but I like him playing behind Cat and at times with Cat, depending on the matchup. So yeah, I think he's playing well. He's definitely helping us. He's clogging up the middle, even if it doesn't show as a rebound, even if it doesn't show as a steal or as a block. Probably have to dig into the advanced stats to see his impact. To the eye test, he's given us really good minutes, when he's out there, and hopefully things, he'll get even better over time. Thoughts on McBride? McBride is in now, starting for.
I'm sorry. Before you go to Deuce,
yes,
there are a couple of times where during the game last night not very long, but very few minutes where Tibbs had Mitch and Cat on the floor at the same time.
Yes.
What do you guys think of that? Like, I didn't see anything particularly bad or particularly good with it. So did you guys see anything like you'd want to see more like extended or like, stay away from that or?
Well, for me, I can go real quick. I knew it was coming eventually. Mm-hmm. There's going to be even more because I think eventually Mitch is going to start. Just because Tibbs is Tibbs.
I think
so. I don't, it worked well. Like, I didn't see anything bad to come out of it. Let's just say that. But until Jalen Brunson comes back fully, I really can't, judge everything on how everything will flow, especially on the offensive end yet.
Right. Yeah, the same. I think Cat does, okay, defending in space. He's not super terrible, but we haven't seen it in a steady diet, because you got to think about the power forwards in the Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum, when he plays the 4, Tobias Harris, if we play Detroit, in that first round, Giannis, for Milwaukee. So I'm not a fan of a steady diet of it, because Cat defending in space, also because of how it changes our offense. But I'm all for having that rotational versatility and being able to go to that lineup when we think we have the advantage, either to match up with someone or we feel we have the advantage and they have to match up with us. I'm all for going. I'm all for that.
Okay.
A-Train said Mitch is where I thought he'd be at this point. Yeah. Mitch is out of shape. He's still slow. I don't know if he seems slow to me, but his timing might be off a little bit. But I don't know if he seems. Does he seem slow?
No, I think it's his timing.
I actually thought Mitch is in better shape than I thought he would be.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It's just the game is fast, and he hasn't played in almost a year. So, It's just his timing, I think. He seems pretty fit.
And I'm pretty much judging from the last time he had a foot injury. Like he came in kind of overweight. You know, I mean, it took a while for him to get in shape.
Yeah.
Like he's way better than he was last time he got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he'll come along. He'll get better. I like Tom Thibodeau going offense, defense. Now we can do that at the center position. He's done that at the end of the games with Brunson. But now he can do that, with Cat. So yeah, I like that. I also like, I guess we could do we could do Tom Thibodeau now. I also like, the play calling. There was a few play callings for Bridges, not just the one at the at the end of the game, just kind of recognizing his strengths and recognizing his ability to put the ball on the floor, to create for himself and to create for others, and to put him in position to do that. So, yeah, I like that. All right, let's get to, McBride.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who was that? Shout out to Ron, still Knick fans. I was thinking the same thing. His timing is bad. Plus, he's not anticipating rebounds the same. Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to take some, and listen, there are times though when it hits, when he'll get a key block shot for us, or he'll get a key, offensive rebound for us. But for right now, it's just not as consistent as usual. It's going to take him some time as far as his timing is concerned. Shout out to you, Sharon. Appreciate you. Yes.
Oh, Sharon, that's my guy, Sharon Cloyd. What's up, Sharon?
Yeah. Leon Mitchell, thank you for that. Not necessarily his scoring, but one of my pet peeves with Mitchell Robinson was that he would never turn toward the basket. He would never move the offense along. Right. And I've seen him a few times get the ball, pass it to the wing. I almost lost my mind, get the ball and not just hold it for somebody to come and get it from him. And you could tell they've been working with him, that his offensive IQ seems to have improved some. And his free throw shooting looks better as well. Like the actual shot looks smoother. And again, you can say we find it. Like we find these small things.
I was gonna say that.
We used to do with Nilakina. Oh, did you see how he tied his shoe?
Yeah, he can dribble with his left hand now. he can make layups with his left hand.
Queen, let me make it worse. Mitch is 80% from the free throw line this season. Four out of 5.
Hey.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be different. In Mitch's first game, I think he faked the handoff and drove and dunked in the lane. I was like, everybody about to lose it. Everybody going to think he Hakeem Olajuwon
now. Oh, boy. Yeah. Shout out to you, old head. I appreciate you. Let's talk about Miles McBride. He's in for... he started for, with Brunson out. Mm-hmm. How's he look? It's been 2 games or 3 with Brunson. And Portland.
He got hurt in the Lakers game.
I think that was 3.
It might be 3.
We played 3. We played the Clippers, Sacramento, and Portland.
3 games. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 games.
How's Deuce looking? To you?
Honestly, Deuce look like he's still not a point guard. But, I like him coming off the bench. I don't really like Deuce as a starter. He played a lot of minutes the last game, almost 40, put up 11 points. I'm looking at the stats now, 11 points, 5 assists, 1 rebound. He could have played better, but I don't want to, he's playing out of his role. I like him better coming off the bench. But yeah, he's just too inconsistent for me. Like he's not a starter in the league yet.
Inconsistent in terms of shooting.
Yeah.
Scoring.
Yeah.
Scoring. And plus he's not a point guard. I don't think he's a point guard. I don't view him as a point guard at all.
Do you think they've done a decent enough job mixing it up so that it's not just him initiating the offense all the time? Do you think they've done a pretty good job of kind of sharing that responsibility?
Yeah, and I actually like when they have the ball in Bridges' hands. especially when well, I guess this is before Jalen Brunson got hurt, because a lot of times when Jalen Brunson went to the floor, usually in the pecking order, Jalen Brunson is number one to me. Cat is two. And Bridges is three. But when Jalen Brunson goes on the bench and Deuce comes in, it seems like Bridges takes over the role as the playmaker, and he's the number one. Cat is still the number two, and then whoever is out there can score. So when it comes to McBride, like, to me, is I just don't want him running the offense. As long as he's not running the offense, that he's just, spot up. As long as he's not trying to create, I'm good with Deuce. But as soon as he starts trying to create, just dribbling the air out of the ball, that's not his game to me. Like, I don't see him in that role. I don't like him in that.
Yeah, yeah. Ajay, how do you think he's doing?
You know what? I'm fine with Deuce. I don't have a problem. I still would like to see them start campaign, though. Just like Jerrell, I prefer to see Deuce coming off the bench. But in this situation, we don't have a starting point guard because he's hurt.
Right.
So I think he's doing a decent job. He had one bad game. Maybe the Clippers game was terrible. But otherwise, I think he's doing okay, because he's bringing up the ball, but he's not really the playmaker. Like, he's just getting it across the line. But once then anybody goes, like, whatever play tips call. But I would like to see campaign start to see what he does with the starters, because since he's more seasoned, he's a veteran. You could probably get more out of him in terms of point guard play. But I don't think Deuce is doing terrible at all. I'm okay with his play.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Deuce, you kind of have to split it up. I think if you're talking about his shooting, it is super inconsistent. And I think if you roll off his last 5-6 games, like 0 for 7, 2 for this, 1 for that, then it'll be a 6 for 9, then back to a 2 for this. So if you're just looking at his shooting, it is inconsistent. And I think on the season, he's down to shooting like 40% on the season, just overall. But he does push the pace for the Knicks. The Knicks play a little faster when he's in the game. Him starting definitely helps our defense, right? Because as good as Brunson is, he's just not a good defensive player. And having Bridges in there, McBride in there at the point of attack helps. Now Bridges doesn't have to play the point guard all the time, right? And that kind of frees him up to be a bit more offensive minded. And even though he's there as the so-called point guard, I do see Bridges and Josh Hart handling the ball a lot. So it's not like he's in that Brunson role where every single time he's bringing the ball down the court, trying to create an advantage. That's just not him. He's not going to create an advantage. So other than his shooting, I think he's played well for us. And I'm pretty sure not just the on-off numbers season-wise, but in those 3 games. I don't know if anybody has those numbers, but if I had to guess, I would think that the on-off numbers are good when he's on the floor, even in Brunson's absence. I would need to check that. But you're right. As far as the shooting, it's just maddening, inconsistent. Even when Brunson is here, like on the second unit, he's the guy.
Right.
As far as scoring is concerned, you're not going to get scoring for Precious. You're not going to get that much scoring for Mitchell Robinson. Who else is out there in that second unit? Shamet is looking much better. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
In terms of hitting his shots. Campaign. But Deuce is that main scoring guy off the bench, and he is super inconsistent as far as that's concerned.
Right.
But shout out to Deuce. How about them Deuce chants in Portland?
Yes.
It was surprisingly a lot of Knicks fans in Portland.
Yeah.
Last time we played them, I don't remember it being that loud when it comes to New York.
There's surprisingly a lot of Knicks fans everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Let's see what the chat is saying. Deuce bricks a lot. Maybe too much. Deuce has had A-Train. Shout out to A-Train rocking with us. Deuce has had the last shot in 3 games lately that we've either lost or went to overtime. No knock on him. I just like to see him hit a game winner when he's put in that
Listen,
position.
if I have the choice, if I have to pick between Deuce and Josh Hart, and with the shot clock running out, I will take Deuce every time.
But why do we even have to worry?
No,
To me, you rolling the dice on either one of them.
I say we got mad other options.
Yeah, Like, why is it coming down to either?
If those are my two options, I'm saying.
Why? Yeah. JJ Deuce a bit too inconsistent for me. Shooting wise, yes. Had Deuce hasn't looked bad. I would say OG and Bridges are handling the ball more. Yes. Yeah. For sure.
OG has definitely stepped up.
OG
lately
has been. And then there was a Thomas Banks said Deuce was getting cooked by Scooter Henderson. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some possessions in which he got the best of Deuce, but when he was cooking, he got the best of a lot of Knicks.
I mean, we talk about Scooter Henderson. He's the number 2 pick of the draft. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like he's been killing it since he's gotten to the league, but he's very, very talented. It's going to come eventually. He's just really, really young, and he hasn't, learned to be consistent in the league yet. But Scooter Henderson is more talented player than Deuce McBride is. So I wouldn't be shocked.
And he's bigger.
Yeah.
With 2% body fat.
Right.
I mean, this guy out there looking like
Henderson been a grown man since he was like 12 years old. I don't know if y'all heard of him and followed him throughout his high school career, whatever. But yeah, Scooter Henderson is a beast. He's just young and hasn't had put a stamp on his name in the league yet. But it's coming soon. He's not going to be a bust, I don't think.
Yeah. Knicks 100 GM said Payne gonna get 4 or 5 of them up no matter what's going on. That used to be Deuce though, not this year. But in years past, he would come in for 3 minutes. He didn't put up 2 shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right about Payne. I like Payne. I actually think he's been a pretty good addition to the Knicks. And he probably should get more minutes. How many minutes he got last night?
Into our campaign, 15.
So he's up a little bit. Because I think he'd be getting like 7, 8, right? 10.
Right. You got to think about Brunson isn't playing.
Yeah, I'm saying so he's up a little bit, but I would think he would.
Those minutes got to go somewhere. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hold on. Old Head said something that I would actually
go ahead.
Talk about real quick. Hold on, where it go? Because they was talking about he's not the only one talking about Beauchamp, but do you guys know anything about Beauchamp?
Yeah,
really, yeah. Like he's one of the, just like Scooter Henderson, one of those what was it called? Not the G League, but the Team Ignite.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh out of high school, didn't go to college, super athletic. He is the type of talent that could take Shamit's spot. I just don't see it happening because of how Tom Thibodeau operates. Like he's not going to give him minutes over Shamit just because he's a vet. I think he just got with the team a couple weeks ago, so I don't see him getting any type of minutes right now. But he's very, very talented. And the type of wing that we was not looking for, because he probably could be a little more aggressive on the offensive end, but he's long, he's athletic, he can defend. I'm actually surprised that he didn't stay with the Bucks and then he went to the Clippers for a sense, and then he ended up here. I don't even know how he got here, to be honest.
And that's my thing when we're calling for, we're calling for him. I think to your point, let him come into training camp, and show what he can do. Milwaukee needed athletic. You saw how Milwaukee started the season? They needed athletic wings, and they let him go. Yep. You know what I mean? The Clippers let him go, and you can, and for the Clippers, they was trying to free up space for another player, but why not him?
Yep.
So, like, I'm not pounding the table for somebody who's been let go by 2 other teams, but I like his length, and I like the fact that he's in the Knicks system. I hope they bring him back. They work with him and see what he can do. The other thing I like about what the Knicks are doing, we have NBA players at the end of the bench, these super situational guys. Whereas last year when we had injuries, we had to go to G League players. We had to go to players who were on 2-way contracts, right? Now, we can play Beauchamp. We can play
Tucker.
We could play Tucker for like a minute or two. He hasn't played this season at all.
Yeah.
And then also the guard that we got
DeLon
Right.
DeLon Wright. Now, I'm not saying these are players that I'm going to put in the rotation, but I'm saying if it got to the point where they were the next man up, at least they have NBA experience.
Right. They're not like Jacob Toppin. And remember, we wanted Charlie Brown.
And
right.
Like right.
Not to crap on those players, but these are other players that had more experience.
You are crapping on the players. Stop it, Jerrell.
Yeah, but it ain't 11 o'clock, so I'm trying to keep it low until we get to that point, AJ. You know what I mean? That after dark, after dark, dope. So after dark, I'll get a little
transformation. Listen, who's the we have another player, the Watson guy.
Watson.
Yeah, there's another guy on the bench, and I looked him up. Anton Watson.
I don't. That's
for the Knicks.
Me.
Wait, hold
on. Knicks 100. Shaman has been really, as of late, the defense has been solid all along, but he's been hitting more of his shots. To your point,
he has.
So I do like, because that's why we brought him in. Like, this defensive thing is a little surprising, right? But we brought him in to hit shots, and he's been doing that.
Hey, AJ, we did I to be honest, I missed this news. I didn't know we got Anton Watson.
No, and listen, I didn't either. I saw him on the benches. I'm like, who's that guy?
Yeah, I know him. He played for Gonzaga. Yeah, I didn't know we got him. I don't know when we got him, but I didn't know he was on the team until you just said that. I must have missed that. He's in G League with us now. But yeah, he played for Gonzaga. Another wing. I think he about 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". Long, athletic. Another nice player.
Right. So mixed feelings on Beauchamp. D. Grant, you guys are delusional. If he's that good, how come he's not on the last team? Am I pronouncing his name right? Is it Beauchamp? Beauchamp. How come he's not on the last team? And Double D said that is Tom's issue. He'll have talent on the bench, but it's not about just having talent. Everybody in the NBA is talented.
Keep telling him.
Everybody in the NBA is talented. This is somebody who got dropped by 2 teams, just came to your team. So he's going to just, with hardly any practice, just move into the rotation and take somebody's spot. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Now, when his time comes, if there's injuries and his time comes, I feel confident that he'll be able to contribute.
Speaking of that and young players contributing, I was excited that we got Moses Brown back, even though we're not going to bring him up probably. At least we got him in the system still.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not bringing him up? Because they have no intention of bringing him up based on his contract. I think he has a straight G League joint.
For me personally, I have no idea why they didn't bring him up, because he seemed like he would help the team. For me, it's because Mitch is back. So you don't really when he's not going to play any. Not if Mitch is going to be the backup center until he starts. But as of right now, Moses Brown would just be sitting on the bench. Precious can't even get on the bench. He's not going to play Moses Brown over Precious.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. I got to be honest. Moses Brown has been in the league 6-7 years, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be all over Thibodeau for not bringing him up and playing him. He's nobody else is bringing him in either. Dallas brought him in for a little bit, due to cap issues. They had to, they had to let him go. But
you think it's all about like relationships or something? Because he came in, played that one game for Dallas, started, got a double-double, they sent him back. So is it like it's not a talent thing to me with him? Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just like Beauchamp. Beauchamp is not a talent thing. He is a very talented basketball player. So I don't know why he's not in the league. Like it's a little weird. I don't get it. There's something
he had
behind the
every
scenes.
opportunity with Milwaukee, though. Milwaukee drafted him.
Right.
Sometimes guys just don't. They're talented, but maybe they take a little while longer to produce the way they wanted him to produce. Right? So I'm not saying it's not going to ever happen. It just didn't happen in the timeline, I guess, that Milwaukee needed it to happen. Moses Brown, though, he played some pretty good minutes or games with OKC. He's been in the league a while. What, 4 years, 5 years? Okay. Moses Brown.
I don't know.
He's not new.
No, he's not new.
He's not a young player. So
he's 25. He got drafted. I can't even tell. Hold on. But he's 25 years old. And he got drafted in 2019.
Right.
So he's been, like you said, he's been in the league 6 years now.
Right. Exactly. Everybody can't be missing the boat. I'm not saying he's not talented. I think for where we are, though, the Knicks got to be looking for veteran players. If you're trying to go deep into the playoffs, you really need veteran players. I'm not saying that your rookies and your young players can't give you some, good minutes here or there, but the more veteran players you have in your rotation, the better chances you have of being successful. I'm not saying a young player can't help. All right. Anything? So we talked about, what about Hart and that running along the baseline last night? Like,
that's my high school stuff. That pissed me off.
I mean, and that was
somebody talk about he was fatigued, so that's why I don't want to hear nothing. If you try it, stay your ass right in that one spot. Why are you running the baseline?
They say he messed up because he was tired.
but
he got the rule.
But he did. There's a lot of blunders though on his part yesterday. I'm not gonna disagree that he was tired. He made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mental errors yesterday. A lot. Like it's almost like I'm sure he's probably the happiest guy that we didn't lose that game, because everybody's gonna be looking at him. Like if we came with an L on that, he made a lot of mistakes, a lot of blunders.
I think that's just a give and take when it comes to Josh Hart, man. He's gonna have games like that. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double. Yet he has blunders like that. I just think that's him.
Yeah.
What do you think that's about? Is that just like just not being focused? Do you think there is some physical fatigue that's leading to mental fatigue?
No, I don't think it's physical. I don't think it's physical fatigue. I think it's just Josh Hart. How many times you jump in the air and pass the ball to somebody in the stands? Like, that's just Josh Hart. I think he just has blunders. I don't want to call it like I don't know. Like I see, hold on, Leon Mitchell, salute Leon Mitchell. He says low IQ for Josh Hart. I don't know if it's low IQ, but he does have multiple bonehead plays during the game sometimes. This is what it is. It wasn't just last night. Almost every game he has a couple bonehead plays.
No, but last night was special though. I mean, last
night
running
the baseline. that was special.
Last night was particular.
And Mike Green was like, they hardly ever call that. Then when they did the replay, he was running.
Yeah, he's running.
Like doing defensive slides across the baseline.
Defensive
slide, electric slide. He was doing the electric slide along the baseline.
And that's a rule you learn in like rec league. That's just a rule in basketball at any level. It's just weird. So It is what it is.
Yeah, so he has that. Somebody in the chat said brain farts. He has his brain farts moment. I think though, for every one of those, there's like 6 or 7 really good plays. That bounce pass from the top of the key to OG, yeah. So it more than balances itself out. But I do hear what you guys are.
Well, it balanced because we came with the win. Because like had we lost that game, I'm telling you, we'd be talking about Josh Hart right now.
Right. The vibe would be completely different if we would have lost.
Different.
Right. And for those who don't know, thank you, old head. A player can run the baseline after a made basket,
right?
But not when the refs hand you the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can't assume people know. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Old head is an ex player. Like that's my guy. That's my man. You know basketball.
I love it. I love it. This is off topic, but I do want to respond to it. D. Grant said when Tatum and Brown were rookies, the Celtics started them. Like, come on. We can't compare all young players. Tatum was what? Both of them were number 3 picks in the draft.
Yeah,
of course you're gonna
back to back.
Of course you're gonna start. Like that's not Huck Porty who was 55 or Moses Brown who like that's separate. Yeah. I'm not saying young players can't start and produce. I'm just saying there's levels to it. And Tatum and Brown coming out of college was another level than the guys we're talking.
I don't know if people are paying attention to the rest of the league. Rookies are trash this year. Almost all of them. It's not that many rookies doing much in the league this year. I don't know why. It wasn't necessarily a down year when it came to the prospects. None of them are really taking over anything on their teams. Like I'm talking about like from the top pick all the way down to like nobody in the lottery is killing like that.
And for those of you who don't know, like they must be really bad for Jerrell to call him trash. Jerrell don't call anybody trash.
I usually don't.
Unless they really like absolute garbage. So they must be really bad.
Yeah. East Blue Juice said, we're not talking all young. We're talking guys you listen. Okay. If you draft somebody, you handpicked. If you draft somebody at number 40, you still handpicked them. That doesn't mean they're ready to give you minutes in the NBA. There's still a difference between drafting somebody at number 3 and drafting somebody at number 35. Both of them are handpicked. That's what it means to be drafted. You handpick them, but there's still levels to it. The Knicks, the 4 players the Knicks drafted, I really like them, and I'm high on them. But I'm not high on them for this particular team this year. I'm not saying they can't get any minutes, but I'm not banging the table for them. If they get minutes, they're great. If they not, I'm not sitting there talking about, well, what the hell is going on that your I don't know, 32nd pick is not getting in the game. Next year, 2 years from now, that's when these guys are going to really shine. That's when they're going to really shine. They got to go through the paces, and this is not 2-3 years ago when we were up and coming team. This is a team that's number 3 in the Eastern Conference on their way to their second 50 win season. This is not the time, in my opinion, to be bringing rookies along. You practice, get better in the off season, get better in practice, get better in the G League, earn your time. You will get your minutes. It will come. It just won't be your first year in the league. That's just not how Thibodeau's run his team. And he has a right to run his team the way he runs it. He's been pretty consistent. He did that with Butler. When he was in Chicago, Butler was playing behind, who was it? Luol Deng.
Yep.
Every time Deng was out, Butler would come in scripping and scraping, and people were like, yo, why is this guy not playing? This is his philosophy. You like it or lump it. This is what he does. He's pretty consistent with it. This is how Deuce earned his stripes.
And when Jimmy Butler first came into the league, he was not ready.
That's true.
He was not good his first couple years in the league.
Yeah.
When you think of the rookies now, even this year, most people can't name me the top 3 players that was picked this year. So it's kind of hard for me to talk about rookies, man. Most of the rookies aren't doing anything in the league. Not this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Profile Clark says, I think saying rookies have been trashed this year is harsh. I mean, they haven't been great. I mean,
name the rookies. Who's been doing anything?
I couldn't name one.
You say Ricochet from Ricochet from the Hawks is killing? Who's the dude from Washington got picked second? Star? Who's picked third?
Star is not yet.
Yeah, it's like none of them are doing well. It just is what it is. Not to say that they won't in the future. I'm just talking about this year, what they're doing this year. They've been picked. We're talking about lottery players here. Like none of them are doing well. I like it's the kid for the Lakers. I got Kolick in my head.
Knick.
Knick. Yeah.
Like him, but he's one of the older rookies. And he slipped in the draft because he's old. But you could tell that he's ready to play that real NBA minutes that he can shoot. Like he's a real basketball player. You could tell that he's older and has a feel for the game. Most of these rookies, thank you, Sherman. That's a good one. Stephon Castle, another good rookie. I really, really like him. Other than that, when you look at the lottery, it's not that many.
Yeah.
But
and he's up and down. He ain't killing it. He's up and down too, which is to be expected for rookies.
Yeah, they rookies. But yeah, give me Knick, Castle. It's not that many more rookies you can name, but they're both of them are really, really good. I like them, especially for their future. Especially Castle. Castle
is in and out of the lineup, believe it or not.
Yep. And remember, Knick got traded, and they rescinded the trade. Like they traded him, and he had to come back because of a failed physical. So they didn't even have, they traded him for a center. So they didn't even think that he was, have that much of a future for the team. But they brought him back.
Yeah. Listen, Klingen is good too. Listen, and what's the guy from Ricochet? Is that how you pronounce his name? Did drop 44 on us. But listen, and then the next game I went to try to pick him up. I said, let me wait a few more games after he dropped 44.
Right.
2, 8, 7. That's just rookies. That's just how it is. And that doesn't mean anything. They're gonna be fine.
And even though I do like Donovan Klingen's game, he had a whole 6 points last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wasn't killing us like that. I think he rebounded well. I think he had like 11 to 12 rebounds, but he only had 6 points. He's doing good for his role, but they don't expect him to do any type of scoring or, have a big role on their team either. Like he doesn't average that much. He had 12 rebounds, 6 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist in 34 minutes.
Yeah. That's his role, though.
That's his role.
Yeah. Sherwin. I like Khalil Ware, too.
That's who I wanted to draft.
Yeah. Inconsistent as rookies are, but you could definitely see his
potential,
his upside, and his potential, too. I like him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I definitely like him.
We could talk about rookies all day, Steph.
I know.
I am with the draft. We need to talk about something else.
Yeah. How are we looking without Brunson?
That's a very good question. Kind of hard. I mean, we just struggled against the Blazers. We beat the hell out of the Kings, and we lost to the Clippers. So I can't call it. I don't know.
Jerrell said we ain't talking about stylistics. Like what's the style change?
Yeah, like we kind of. I don't want to say we look the same, but y'all think we look better?
Well, listen, it depends on.
Eastbrook
stylistically, like this is where you get into to me, it's about winning, and it's about having a sustainable offense, right? So I don't care if we win pretty or we win ugly. I don't care if Brunson, has the ball in his hands a lot and we win. However, my caveat to that is for where the Knicks are right now, I'm always thinking about the playoffs. I'm always thinking about how we gonna beat this team, how we gonna get out the first round. And you definitely do better when you have a more diverse offense because the defense just can't key on you. But we can have that offense with Brunson. We had that offense with Brunson before the All-Star break. Again, I don't know what happened. So I'm not going to sit here and say that because of Brunson, we can't be that team that moves the ball and move our bodies because we did, you know? So whatever Brunson did after the All-Star break, I'm sure he thought it was out of necessity, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about, oh, well, with Brunson, he dominates the ball, but then when he's not here, the ball moves. No, the ball was moving with Brunson too, prior to the All-Star break, and just trying to figure out,
You peeped the voice change, right? You peeped the voice change.
Who talk like that, Steph? Who in the chat talking like that? Oh, that's funny. The dumb boy gave him the dumb voice.
Oh boy, it's already been proven. Okay, we shall see. We shall see. It's been proven for all time, or it's been proven in the games that we've played up to this point. So yeah, I agree. In the games that we've played to this point, with even with Brunson, we've struggled, against those teams. That doesn't mean that's how it's going to be for all time.
I really do want to know what happened after the All-Star break, because we don't look the same. I love those 30 assist games. Those look beautiful. Remember at one point our offense was like, they was like the highest scoring starting five in like the last 60 years or something in the NBA, stuff like that. What happened to all of that? Like all of a sudden the All-Star break came, Jalen Brunson was in the 3-point contest, and then he tried to be out after the All-Star break. Like, I don't get it. Like like a switch was flipped, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah, we talked about it on Queen's Court Monday. I don't know what happened. I just don't know. It's just the next thing you know, I'm looking at the offense from last year.
Right.
Where Brunson is just dominating the ball, trying to create for himself, trying to create for others. I don't know what happened. I said, well, was Cat hurt? Maybe he's hurt. The thumb, the knee, the whatever, the back, whatever's going on. He's not playing at the top of the key. Now he's, down baseline extended. Like,
right.
I don't know. Anybody in the chat has any thought about why the offense changed?
I'm saying because it can't be. I don't know what's up with Cat, but I'm not going to use his hand as an excuse anymore, because that happened after he got hurt. Like he was hurt for a while before what we're talking about happened. So it has to be another reason why it changed like that. Was it because
JJ? I wish I knew. Also. Like, what happened?
Something is definitely different.
Yeah. I'm not sure. And we're talking the offense here. Why offense changed after the All-Star break. Knicks 100 GM said it's Cat's hand. I mean, but he looked all right last night.
No, I don't think it's his hand. If anything, he should be getting better as the time goes on. Like he's less aggressive, and the way that he's playing is I don't know. Like he played more aggressive right after he broke his hand compared to now, or the last few games. Not necessarily now, but after the All-Star break, I should say.
Yeah, I hear you profile Clark, but I don't see the defensive scheme. I could see you playing the way you play, and then the defensive scheme making it difficult. This just seems like, regardless of scheme, we just decided to come out and just decide that Brunson is going to pound the ball and try to create for himself and try to create for others. Like, I don't see I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't see the defense dictating that. I just feel like we just decided to play that way. I'm not sure. And again, I'm talking offensively.
Yeah, just offensively.
The ball movement, the player movement, the cutting, it's just not there.
Yep. Our offense is different.
Yeah.
We decided to play that way, or Tibbs decided we should play that way?
I don't think they make it seem like Tibbs, not that he doesn't have a say-so, but the players make it seem like Tibbs gives them a lot of freedom on offense.
Yeah, they said as much.
So to me, it's more of a Jalen Brunson thing, not Tibbs, when it comes to the offense.
And people are talking about, hopefully he could see what we doing. We was doing that with him.
Right.
Hopefully he could see the ball moving in the play. No, he saw it. He was a part of it. We just need to get back to that, because in the playoffs, that's, to me, is not going to be sustainable. That type of offense is not sustainable. It's just too easy. It's just too easy to guard. Okay. I hear you. Pick and roll is less. I hear you, but that wasn't the only thing we were doing, though. That wasn't, a matter of fact, we were talking about we weren't doing that even enough. So it's not like this is why we were getting the 30 assists and this is why we were moving the ball. It was all off of the Cat Brunson pick and roll. I hear what you're saying, but we didn't run that a lot.
Right.
Or enough. And we were still moving the ball.
Exactly. I came in here and said, if it was me, I would run the pick and roll to death every play. And they rarely ran it, and it was pissing me off all season. Like they definitely do not run pick and roll as much as they should with Cat and Brunson.
Right, but I hear what he's saying in terms of switching. But that wasn't our only offense, though.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The lack of distributors is beginning to hurt the Knicks. But I do listen. I think Josh is a playmaker, secondary playmaker, can be, and I know Bridges can be. Why we just have to take advantage of it. We just have to use it more. And we've been doing it without Brunson. We need to do it with Brunson.
Cat can distribute too.
In terms of using him as a hub, like
you
could do that. We did that a little bit when Hartenstein was here. I just think Hartenstein was a bit more disciplined with his passes than Cat is. Cat he just be like
that know what that is? That's talent and ego. Just because he's so talented, he think he Magic Johnson and can do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, talented people think that way. But you're definitely right. Like he be like he Magic.
Yeah, like take your time. We know you have the ability to pass. But you gotta see the window you have and the window you don't have. Like some of those passes, like all right. JJ wants to know, what do we think of teams putting centers on Hart and smaller guys on Cat? I think that's smart for them because the Knicks don't take advantage of that. The Knicks don't take advantage of it.
And Queen, I've complained about that too. Like all them little guys checking Cat, and then so is it that we don't take advantage or we cannot take advantage of it?
I think we just don't, because it's not just Cat. Small players be on Bridges all the time. They don't give him the ball. Is it that? I think that's a Brunson problem. We talked about that before.
Yeah. And I think a Thibodeau problem too, and I get it. Like Brunson has said it, other players have said it on their podcast that Thibodeau gives the players the freedom. You know, he's trying to. He loves players that can create an advantage, right? Randall, when he was here, created an advantage because of the double team, right? So it was 2 to the ball. Brunson creates a double team. They just have that gravity. And so his thing is, after that, you just got to read who's open. And I get it. But sometimes you can hunt mismatches. Sometimes you could, be like, listen, remind them, we need to go here and we need to keep going here and until they are able to stop it. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, I don't want to say too much freedom, but it's okay to remind them, look for this. So what I think about it is that the Knicks have to do a better job of exploiting it. Yep, teams are putting a bigger player on Brunson and De'Aaron Josh to shoot. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sharon said something that I want to talk about. That I'm gonna reframe it. That Cat doesn't put in a lot of effort on defense. And I've asked this before. Probably was on the Queen's Court. How much of it is Towns can't play defense, and how much of it is he chooses not to play defense? Because there's times when I've seen him play really good team defense, and I'm like, yo, so what's going on here? You don't know where you're supposed to be. You not quick enough to get to your spots. You don't know what your spots are, or you just deciding that you're not going to get there. Because when I saw him last night, he was getting to his spots. Thoughts?
I think it's the lack. It's the lack of effort. Like he's not a defensive player. You asking him to do something he's not used to doing.
Wait, whoa, hold on. When you say he's not a defensive player, because he chooses not to be, or because he's physically not capable?
No, he's capable. He just doesn't have that instinct. You have guys like Mitchell Robinson. By instinctively, he is a defensive player. He's gonna try to block the shot. Certain things he's gonna try to do. But Cat, he's just not that guy. Like he has to remind himself to play defense. I think sometimes. I'm telling you, I see him play defense with his hands down. You 7 feet. You guarding somebody with the ball 6'5". Your hands are down. That's not a way to play defense. He's just those guys. Certain guys have to remind themselves, hey, you got to play defense.
Honestly, for me, I think it's a little bit of both. It can be effort, and plus, he does have limitations, especially when it comes to his feet. Slow-footed.
He's slow-footed, except when it comes to offense, though. Then he light. He
honestly, he's slow-footed then too. He's just so big that you can't do nothing about it. Especially like when Ajay hates to see him drive.
Drives.
The reason you hate to see him drive, because does he ever blow past anybody? No, he drives and the person is still right on his hip. Then he cries for the foul. He either makes it or don't, and run down the court.
It's like bowling pin, everything falling all over. But then,
I guess my point is that like he's slow-footed. Even when he does drive, you don't never see Cat like blow past people. Like he's just long and can get to the basket in like 2 steps.
So
they can't tackle him.
Yeah.
Like he's slow even on offense too.
Yeah. I think any player can play team defense. We're not asking you to block shots. We're not asking you to cover Durant. We're just asking you to rotate and be where you're supposed to be and put your hands up. Be where you're supposed to be. I can't tell you how many times Cat does not rotate. It's not like, he's rotating and he's getting there late. And you're like, wow, this guy's slow. Every time he tries to rotate over, he gets there late and he picks up a foul. No, he just don't rotate at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
can't
I
argue that.
I hear you the physical limitation, but I think he can be better than he is.
And that's why I'm not going to argue. I can't argue that because you're right too. Like I said, it's a little bit of both. It definitely sometimes that he just didn't get over there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times that. But can we say the same thing about Jalen Brunson? And do we not talk about that because of Jalen Brunson just because he's short?
No, because I think Jalen Brunson's effort is there. I don't see that effort with Towns.
Oh, so he just be getting cooked.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
right. I think
he
tries to fight over. Like, I don't see Brunson as somebody that dies on screens. Like, he tries to get over screens. When someone drives, he moves laterally. Many times he's moved laterally, and the guy has to pick up the ball and look for another option. But you ain't isolating Brunson on an island with anybody. But the effort is there. I can't say the same thing about Towns all the time. Last night, I thought it was. Like, for those who care to go back and watch the game, I thought his effort on defense was solid. And I'm just saying, why can't it be solid all the time? So somebody made somebody said something. Well, there's a few, but let me just see if I can find one. Go ahead, Jerrell. You was going to say something?
Yeah, I'll talk while you looking for that. Like, because I do agree. I hope it was solid all the time. I just hope it's solid during the playoffs. So maybe he chilling for the first 82. You know what I mean? He pick up his feet, actually get out to the shooter, during the playoffs. I don't know, man. I really do hope he pick it up during the playoffs because we have seen, like, if you watch Minnesota play, we have seen Cat play good defense in a Minnesota uniform. Like, he played the Joker last year, played him very, very well for somebody of the Joker stature. Like, you can't stop him. But his defense on him was really, really good. Not all the time, but he had spurts and he played against him very, very well. So if you can play the Joker very, very well, you can play defense. But like you said, he has to choose to do so. I just hope he chooses to do it in the playoffs like he did last year.
Right. I mean, like, there's different aspects to defense, and I do think his one-on-one defense against bigs is pretty solid. And I also think he's up for those challenges, when another big comes. But I'm just talking about his rotation defense. Sharon Cloyd, I hope I have got that right. Cat has athletic deficiencies that I think hinder him from playing defense. I don't know. I'm just not buying it. I'm just not. If you're making the effort and you get over there slow, that's one thing. I just don't see the effort.
Yeah, like you didn't get there at all. Like, not a step.
Not only that, you backed up.
He went the other way.
He went the other way.
He went the other way. I get it. Yeah. That's unexcusable. You got to at least make an effort to get over there. Even if I see you not get there, you at least know that you're supposed to get over there. Like, so I get it. I understand that.
Keyshawn said he doesn't want to exert all his energy on both sides of the ball. That's fair.
See, I would like that. I mean, because I would like that. But lately, he hasn't been as aggressive on offense.
So you should have plenty of energy.
So you should have, like, to your point, you should have plenty of energy. You should be sliding your feet more. And like you said, at least make an effort to get out there.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not asking him to go out there and guard Jason Tatum. It takes a lot of energy. I'm not asking you to go out there and defend the point of attack. Like, I'm just asking you to rotate to your where you're supposed to rotate on defense. Paris Duggar, Cat doesn't have good balance when he plays defense, and he doesn't have defensive pride. Right?
Defensive pride. Oh, I like that one. I like that, Paris.
He's not aggressive. Correction, he plays individual defense well. Sometimes he does, but he's not smart with his hands. That is true. And he's slow to recover. So drop doesn't really suit him. It doesn't. Plus he drops to like basically under the bat. Like he just drops.
He with the cameras.
Right. There were times earlier when he would double.
He hugging the cameraman.
Right. He would double on the pick and rolls and would come up on the pick and rolls instead of dropping. I think he does do better there. Sometimes he ball watches too much. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right. All right. Anything else? Short show today. I'm on the road tomorrow for a long road trip.
Now we could talk about the next game real quick. I guess.
Quick thing. Shout out to JJ. So dudes get extra points for buying Jennifer Hudson flowers for hitting her. What game was that? That was the Golden State Warriors game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting next to Common, hit her in the face. The ball hit her and hit her in the face.
He shot his shot, huh?
Common came to the rescue like a good 5 seconds later. It's like,
yeah.
The action's over.
You can tell he ain't played ball in forever because the ball went right past him. Like he didn't play good perimeter defense at all.
Like
her damn glasses was all the way over there by the time he reacted to the ball. He was sitting right next to her.
I'm like, come on, Common.
Oh God.
Common was like, I got bars. I ain't got no hands for this basketball, man.
Yeah, he's slow. He's slow with it.
Yeah, well, I hope he hit a better percentage on that than he did in these last few games.
Right.
Taking his shot.
Salute the Deuce too. We didn't talk about. I think he just recently got a child, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
oh, he did. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
Speaking of Riz, you know what I'm saying?
That's
shooting his shot. He shot his shot already.
Yeah, that's baby number something too. That's not his first.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, salute the Deuce, man.
Yeah. Salute. Anything else?
The next we play Golden State on Saturday again.
Playing well. As of Monday, Queens Court, they were 9-1 over their last 10. I don't know what's happened since then. It's a home game. We're going in there without Brunson.
They are playing right now. I'm watching the game right now. They're up 15 on the Kings in the second quarter. They beat the Blazers. They beat the Warriors. They beat the Pistons. They beat the Nets, and they beat us. So they haven't lost since we played them.
Okay.
All right. It's very soon. We're about to end that streak on Saturday.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Might as well. We go all the way over there. Might as well beat them.
Might as well beat them, especially with all that trash Draymond. I can't. Oh my God! I don't even talk about that.
I don't want to get you started, AJ. It is not after dark yet.
Oh no.
Chill with the Draymond.
I'll leave it alone.
East Blue Drew said, if we beat them without Brunson, we need a discussion. What's the discussion? I hope the discussion is not we're a better team without Brunson because we beat Golden State. Like, what's the discussion? Let's not fool ourselves.
Anybody thinking about that for real?
I don't know if that's what he's saying, but
I hope not.
I hope that's not what we did. What is there to discuss?
We're not a better team without Brunson. I don't care what happens.
You're right. We can win out the next 29 games. You think? He said he needs changing. Listen, we're all with you as far as changing the offense.
Changing the offense.
But to get back to, get back to moving our bodies and moving the ball. But keep in mind, East Blue Drew, we was doing that with Brunson.
Yeah, the
We
30
had an
assists.
elite, almost historic offense before the All-Star break with Brunson. So I'm not going to buy into this narrative that Brunson is holding this offense back. There's been a reason, and we have to figure it out. Keyshawn said, I think we'll be better defensively against them, but that's about it.
Yeah, because then after that, after the Saturday game,
we play Miami on Monday.
do we? Hold on, I didn't even get it yet.
They ain't been doing too well, Miami. I don't think they've lost like maybe 4 or 5 in a row or something.
I mean, they're gonna be ripe for a victory. Can't take nobody for granted.
Look, a lot of people, we was talking about how bad our, schedule was, but after that Warriors game, like you said, we played the Heat, then we played the Spurs, then we played the Hornets, then we played the Wizards, then we played the Mavericks without, most of their players.
Yeah.
Like they so short-handed, they couldn't have a sub the last game at one point. Like they only had 5 players.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The schedule definitely lightens up a little bit, which is good for us. Given the fact that Brunson is back, and he really needs to be 100% for the playoffs, because you really need shot creators in the playoffs.
Yep.
With that schedule, there's no reason to rush him back, though. We could, those guys could hold it down. We don't have.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see this time next week, Ajay, what our record is. Because if we lose 2 of those games, everybody will be jumping out of the window again.
But we're not gonna.
Okay, you got that. You right.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way OG is playing. He's been really, really aggressive. I like the way Shaman is playing. He's been really aggressive. Mitch has been really good on the defensive end. We're kind of moving the ball. It's just that if it comes down to a situation in that last 5 minutes, those clutch situations, I guess it's going to have to be Bridges. If we need a bucket, where would usually be Brunson.
Before we get out of his stuff, just keep in mind next week we have games on Wednesday and Thursday. We
do
back to backs. We play on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Saturday. So if you're gonna have,
we want to go Tuesday or Friday.
Either or is fine with me.
Yeah, same here. Either way, either one.
So I guess it depends on your schedule.
Either one works for me. Tuesday might be better. I'm gonna be down south. So listen, I need y'all to hang in there with me. Y'all know how it is when I go down.
She's taking a trip back. She's doing a little time travel. She's taking a trip back to 1985.
75. Everything will be all pixelated.
Yeah.
Mooney's trying to broadcast about the Knicks.
She got dial-up connect to AOL.
All that.
I'm gonna be on my AOL account.
Hey man, it is what it is. We're gonna talk about. Well, we'll see if you can talk about the Warriors and the Heat game on Tuesday, or you'll just be like in the box. That's it.
For real, she's got me on that Ma Bell line. For real. It's 12 megabytes per second. I'm telling you the truth. 12
the rotary phone.
Oh my goodness. So what I'm hoping to do is be on my iPhone. iPad,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Be on my iPad and see. Usually a direct connection to your modem should be more stable than a cellular connection, but I'm not sure that's the case.
Well, I already told you, remember next time, maybe I'll start the show, but you obviously, because all I got to do is hit live, then all of the bandwidth will be where I'm at. Because if you do it, we ain't going to have no show.
Yeah,
we might not have no show. It'll be skipping too much probably.
Yeah. So I think we'll do that because I can still set it up, right?
Yeah.
And then you just
All I
okay.
got to do is click live and end stream on my. Well, I don't even have to click end stream. You could do that. All I got to do is click live, and then the bandwidth, since I'm the one who did hit it, it'll
Right.
come through me. So
Okay.
you know, either me or Ajay or even Geoff can do that.
Okay. All right. And then I'll come in. But anyway, I'll be on my iPhone anyway.
Mhm.
Maybe my iPad. I don't have an iPhone yet. That's the last piece of my.
Wait, you got all this stuff with no iPhone?
Yeah, she rocking
See?
Samsung or something.
Yeah, because you
Man,
know what?
listen.
Yes, definitely smash that like button. You know what happened? I got the Samsung. Then when it was time when they came out with the 16, they was I still owed $1,000 on. I had just got the Samsung. I'm like, nah, I don't feel
But yeah,
like
if you just got it, yeah.
I'm like, and because of my trade-in, I wasn't paying anything for the Samsung. They was like, well, you got to pay the $1,000 to pay off the Samsung, and then I was like, all right.
Yeah, I'd keep the Samsung too if I if I had to do that. Not that deep.
That's it, man. My iPads, my Mac Mini, I am in the ecosystem right now. So
I'm never going back.
And I ain't never going back.
Never going back.
Remember, Jerrell, when I was on that damn
when
PC?
I text Queen, it ain't blue, man. It's green.
See,
I can't edit. I can't.
That's why I'm glad we don't text. I just straight other messages. I don't want to see no green bubbles.
Yeah.
What did that mean? Oh, that's you using Apple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like when
it comes up, it comes out as an iMessage. So it's it's blue. And you could do stuff with it. You could edit, you could do all kind of yeah.
Once you come over, you'll never go back. Just like with the computer, you'll never go back.
You're right. Remember when I was asked, I was like, I had it on the the KM switch. I was switching back and forth for work and this, and then after a while, I was like, you know what?
Like if you're trying to do this type of stuff, I would never go to PC again.
No. And it's just Apple. It just works. It just works.
Yeah.
Hey,
salute to J Bug in the house. Missed him earlier.
What's up, J
Bug? Avery coming back.
I try to tell you something.
Georgia. I will be in Georgia.
God is trying to tell you something right now,
sister.
Yep. See, all of us is old enough to get that reference. Salute to all the young heads in the chat. If there are any,
they have no idea. Well,
no idea what we're talking about.
No, they probably know. There's a newer version of the color.
The younger people, they watch that. All the older people just watch the new version.
Right, and was pissed off with all the singing. I'm like, what is this, a musical?
Like, oh, it's a musical now.
Y'all didn't tell me that.
Like, this Dream Girls or The Color Purple?
Oh boy! All right. I appreciate it. Let me just give a quick shout out to the chat. East Blue Drew, Knicks 100 a GM. Sherman was in the building. JJ always rocking with us on Deals NYK. We appreciate you supporting us and all the Knick content creators. A Train, Old Head, Paris Duggar was in the house. D Grant, Old Head. I might say your name twice, and I might miss some. Y'all know my condition. Knicks 100 a GM. I think I said you already. Sharon, Claude, Keyshawn, Iconoclast 6. Grimes is a player. Grimes been killing lately. I picked him up late on my fantasy team. But listen.
You know why he killing?
Because Philly has absolutely nobody. And he's taking like 40 shots a game.
Nobody.
Yeah. And he's producing. So shout out to JJ. That's his player. Profile Clark, I appreciate you. I'm not sure if this is your first time. If it is, welcome. If not, welcome back.
Yeah, a lot of comments, man. Salute.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Nostalgic Nick, Minute Police. All right, Ivory 10 rocking with us today.
Wiz was here earlier. Was BKL?
Yes. Wiz was here earlier as well. Double D was in the building early. David L. Baya in the building early.
Wait a minute, I forgot. I had I actually starred. Wiz comment.
Okay, you could put it up.
But I don't think he in the chat anymore because it was in the beginning of the show when we was talking about like load management and stuff. But hold on. just in case if he's watching.
He's still in the chat.
He said, what do you think about load management? What do you think load management is? Players whose coaches listen to players.
That's not load management.
That's not load management at all. Load management is a team thing, not a player thing. Like teams sit players down. It's not the other way around. Like even Zion Williamson came out a couple weeks ago and said he would love to play back-to-backs, but the Pelicans is the reason he is not playing back-to-backs. So don't ask him. So I think the players are kind of rebelling against load management. It's not really them. Unless there's somebody like Kawhi, somebody with like a real crazy injury history. Like, of course, he's going to say, or his team is going to say how many, games he should play or when he should sit out, or doctors and stuff like that. But for the most part, that's a team thing. That's teams like saving their investments, not the other way around. Like players don't want to play. I've never heard that before.
Right. Shout out to Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was here earlier.
Yeah. Eddie Kofi was in the house. Johnny Davis.
A-Train.
A-Train, of course. I said A-Train. We give another shout out. Andrew N. I appreciate you. Silk Sutton. All right. I think I'm saying some names. Leon Mitchell. Appreciate you. Snipes Entertainment. Appreciate you.
Let me give another shout out to Wiz just because we talked about Deuce a lot.
Sure.
We talked about Deuce a lot, so we got to shout out Wiz again. That's his grandson. So salute to Deuce. Salute to Deuce, man.
You got Sharon Cloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salute to him.
Salute Parrish
as well. And Jerrell, Ajay, I appreciate you rocking with me. Geoff couldn't make it today. He'll be back.
So next week. Next week we'll figure it out, right? Next week.
Yeah, next week. I think Tuesday is going to be better for me only because I'm going to be down south with my family. And so Friday night, I'll probably want to be out hanging with them. Whereas when I'm in Brooklyn, I'm just by myself Friday night.
That's Steph crazy.
I'm just by myself. But any night is fine.
Down there, though, the internet might be off on Friday night anyway.
Off.
It's like off. They turn off.
It's off.
They're off for the weekend.
Off. Just off.
We'll be back Monday at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Just so everybody could go to work, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But on the weekend, we cut all that off.
Oh, God.
Killing the trees down there.
Oh, you know what? I missed this comment by Ron. I hope this doesn't cause a divide in the locker room.
No.
Unless this is how the players feel. And Mikal stepped up and said it. Anything is
that's
I guess anything is possible.
You know what's crazy?
But
to me, it seemed like Mikal would not be the one who said it. To me, he seemed like he's the more passive one out of all of them.
He's not super vocal, right? He's not.
Yeah, so that's why I was actually shocked, and I didn't like the fact that he said this stuff. I think that stuff you should be keeping in-house, even if you do believe it. But yeah, it was kind of weird that he said that.
Right. And he spoke to the coach about it. He spoke to him about it. So I always say keep that conversation private.
He said he spoke.
He said he did. Exactly.
Tibbs said we ain't had no conversation. The minutes is the minutes. That's what Tibbs. Yo, Tibbs crazy.
You got the minutes police and Tibbs is the minutes mafia. He
Tibbs said the minutes
is
are the
what
minutes.
It is. You complaining? Okay, I got something for you. 41 minutes.
Right. And the last shot is going to you in overtime.
Yeah. This having size on our bench, we talked about this earlier, where when you take Mikal Bridges out, you take OG Anunoby out, you don't look like a high school team. I think that's important in the off season. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Looking forward to the playoffs. Anyway, Monday, me, Geoff, Tony Crow. Shout out to Tony Crow. Lady in the Chef from Two Knicks Chicks. Ajay, if he want to drop by, even if we have 4, even if everybody's here, Ajay, you want to drop by?
No, I fill in where you missing people, man. I guess 4 looks nice. 4 looks perfect. I want to be in that chat, like bothering people.
The chat is fun.
The chat is fun.
Just being in the chat is fun.
Yeah, for sure. Until next time, family.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?